Hello, I'm the official name rater. My job is to look through the first page of Google, review the nicknames provided by the internet, and then give my recommendations at the end. Today we're looking at Zigzagoon and Linoone. Just them, their original incarnations. The Galarian forms will get its own episode, mostly centered around Obstagoon when we eventually get there. I'm willing to make an exception for Vector, but honestly, thinking about it as a name, I'm 99% sure that's a Sonic character. I think it's the crocodile alligator guy. Not sure, but I think it is. I like the idea of it, and that's cool, but that could also work for crocodile or something if you wanted to. Actually, Sly Cooper's a pretty good one. I don't want to check because I wasn't entirely sure. Bulbapedia is saying ferret, tanuki, badger, raccoon. I'm like, man, they just mixed all of the damn things together, didn't they? But I'm gonna still say I'm fine with Sly Cooper as a nickname because it's probably the closest you're gonna get, because I'm pretty sure there is no definitive raccoon Pokemon. And the name Zigzagoon, here, let me check the name definition. Yeah, raccoon is kind of in the name, which is what I thought. Zigzagoon, Linoone, lion, raccoon. You get it. I know what the regular show is, but I've never watched it, but yeah, Rigby. If you want a reference to that, that's acceptable too. And I think its name is probably not going to get confused with anything other than Eleanor Rigby, but I'm going to go ahead and say it probably will stand out fine on its own. And I guess we can acknowledge Chugga Conroy's Slavinator if you want to. Okay, so this one's a bit morbid, but I'm kind of okay with the idea of roadkill, because just, we already do so many jokes with food and stuff. You could probably apply that maybe to Stantler too if you wanted to make some sort of joke about wildlife getting ran over by cars. That's fine, I guess. I'm debating how I feel about Ziggy Stardust, because most of me, 99% of me is yeah, it's okay. But there's that 1%, it's well, it's already part of the name. But then another part is who gives a fuck? It's fine. They said it's based off Ziggy Stardust. I think it'll stand out on its own. It doesn't all fit, but you tried. Tom Nook, that's acceptable, I guess, as well. I feel like we might have seen that for something else. My mind feels like it's familiar, but I can't think of what. My first thought's Furret, and I'm there's no way someone would name Furret Tom Nook. They'd have to be stupid. But then I'm also thinking about Nickit and Thievul, if you wanted to as well, because I could see those being a Tom Nook choice. And I guess it's worth mentioning Rocket from Guardians of the Galaxy. I totally understand, and I'm not going to say it's a bad idea, but I am going to say when you consider Team Rocket as part of the universe, it feels a little less okay, I guess. I don't know, it's up to you how much that matters, but that's kind of where my mind goes, is thinking about Team Rocket. If Team Rocket didn't exist, I wouldn't care, it'd be all about it, but since Team Rocket exists, it's gonna have that parallel drawn. Okay, so weirdly, I kind of had my expectations a little bit higher, because when he did Furret, he had Brownie, and I was okay with Brownie, but the moral of the story is never put your faith into this guy for anything, because Speedy Quick is fucking retarded. Don't do that ever. Fast Track, I'm okay with, because that's a real thing people say. You're on the fast track, you're in the fast lane, something like that. I'm okay with those. Those don't sound terrible. Stripes sounds like something a 6-year-old girl names their pet, and I wouldn't be surprised if this guy is actually just a 6-year-old girl. Zoom and Wiz are fucking dumb, and then Turbo Head is pretty fucking dumb too. Now this is weird, because upon the Google search, one of the things it had was just the tab for nicknames on Bulbapedia. So doing a nice Control F brought me to this. I don't remember that, so it must have been a throwaway episode where fucking nothing happened and I just skipped it, because I kind of don't watch the worthless episodes where nothing happens. I'd like to watch the things where Ash fights a gym, or hey look, there's an interesting character from the games, or something like that. So this was probably worthless, but I guess if you want to base it off the anime, there's an option for you. Okay, we've reached the bottom, and I'm calling this mostly a bust. We found maybe about 5 that are worth talking about, and that was about it. So let's check the spreadsheet, see if we can find more. The answer is no. No, we can't. Cool, so I don't have a personal choice. This is kind of one that like I've been wondering when we might find something for, but so far we haven't. So the 5 quote-unquote that we found, which weren't really 5. Tom Nook was, I saw it like maybe 3 or 4 times, so it's known, it's thought of, but it's not mega popular. But I wouldn't say Zigzagoon nicknames in general were mega popular. Sly Cooper was probably the one I saw most. This one I had written down from a previous episode, which I assume was probably when we were talking about other Harry Potter houses or whatever. I had Hufflepuff written down, which then makes me wonder why I didn't instinctively know that Linoone was a badger, because apparently I knew it in the past, or I saw it in the past or something, but whatever. I guess just Sly Cooper fucked with my head, I guess. Those are the main 3. Ziggy Azalea, Ziggy Stardust, and then I was kind of expecting to see it, but I didn't. There's a wrestler who goes by the name of Dolph Ziggler. I was expecting to see that, and we didn't. And even then, I'm not going to say I would recommend that, but I am going to say that it wouldn't surprise me to see that as an option. So, in general, it wasn't too much, but I'm also not entirely surprised. Now that we've gotten the starters done, this is where we get to the filler Pokemon and things start to shorten out, and we might not break through with a huge amount of nicknames, so it's alright. Anyway, provide your ideas for Linoone nicknames in the comments below. Give a thumbs up to whatever you think is good, and the day will come where we tackle the Galarian form in Obstagoon, and who knows what sort of nicknames those will be.